From the Department of Education on the campus of Oklahoma State University, welcome to the 11th Annual OSU Texaco Star Academic Challenge. And now, from the studios of KJRH-TV, Channel 2 in Tulsa, here is your host, Chip Beal.
Welcome to the studios of Channel 2, where OSU presents the Texaco Star Academic Challenge. This competition began with 32 Oklahoma schools, and now we're down to the top 8. The quarterfinals begins with this match, and we welcome schools from, or rather teams, from Bishop Kelley and Stillwater High. Good luck to both schools. Winner goes on to the semifinals. You'll be hearing a number of sounds throughout the course of today's competition. This sound means your answer is correct and the team has scored. This sound means your answer is incorrect, and this tone the end of each quarter. Good luck to Bishop Kelley and Stillwater High. Here's your first question of the match. Sales of this single reed musical instrument jumped over 20%.
Flute.
In 1993, Stillwater named this hybrid of the clarinet, oboe, and brass instruments, whose renewed popularity may be derived from the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
The saxophone.
Sure, the saxophone, and that's a good start for Stillwater. Government gives us much, sometimes too much, as in the case of erroneously used vocabulary. Identify the word used incorrectly in the following sentence and tell me why it's used incorrectly. We are tasking that project now.
Bishop Kelley, Chris.
Tasking, because it's not a verb.
Task is a noun, not a verb, and that is correct, and Bishop Kelley is on the scoreboard. In 1414 teams, Bohemian religious reformer Jan Hus was called before the Council of Constance. For what crime did they condemn him to be burned?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Heresy.
Heresy, to be burned at the stake, that's right. Good going. What Latin American country teams, notorious for its Axis sympathies, was the very last nation to declare war on Germany on March 27, 1945?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Peru.
Not Peru. Stillwater? Which one?
Stillwater, Brian.
Nicaragua.
Now that's in Central. Argentina is the one notorious for its Axis sympathies. For 10 points, what object is the symbol of authority in the House of Representatives and is
Bishop
placed...
Kelley, John.
No, that's a good try, and is placed to the right of the Speaker when the House is in session. What's that object called, Stillwater? Do you know? That's the mace, a staff 46 inches long and surrounded by a globe and an eagle. Now, for 10 points, only 2 black Republicans out of 23 running won House seats in the November elections. Name the one from Oklahoma.
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Watts.
J.C. Watts from Oklahoma. Good for you. 21 states have laws which provide that no one may be forced to join a labor union or pay dues to a labor union as a condition.
Richard.
That's correct. What's the 3-word phrase that's used as a name for these laws? Players after the Crusaders took this city from the Muslims in 1099. They installed Godfrey of Bouillon.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Jerusalem is the name of the city. Godfrey of Bouillon was his name. What French composer wrote the Carnival of the Animals?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Debussy.
Not that one. Stillwater. Carnival of the Animals.
Stillwater, Mary.
Camille Saint-Saëns is right. Excellent. In what city did the Italian songs O Sole Mio and Santa Lucia originate?
Stillwater, Richard.
Venice.
Not Venice.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Milan.
Naples is the answer. No score on that one. A language question. The Chinese philosopher Confucius became known to the Western world as Confucius.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Confessions.
Confucius through the writings of Jesuit missionaries who translated the name into what language? Confucius was translated as Confucius in
Stillwater,
what language?
Richard.
Spanish.
No, it's Latin. What 2 cabinet agencies were separated in 1798? And
Bishop Kelley, John.
Department of War. Into the Department of the Army and Navy.
What two cabinet agencies, Stillwater, were separated in 1798 and for the next 149 years were the only two military departments in the U.S.? Can you name the two agencies, Stillwater, to tie the game?
Stillwater coal.
The Department of War was changed to the Department of Navy and the Department of Defense.
No, Department of War and Department of Navy is the answer. What science investigates the distribution of underground water?
Stillwater, Richard.
Hydrology.
That's ruled acceptable, or hydrogeology. Okay, much of the action in this mystery takes place aboard the SS Karnak during a cruise of Egypt.
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Murder on the Nile.
No, that's not it. Stillwater, can you give me the title? Give you the lead. Death on the Nile. It won a Booker Prize for fiction in 1982, although its author opposed calling it fiction. Now that the Oscar-winning movie version is such a hit, it has made U.S. fiction bestseller lists, upsetting some who claim that calling it fiction denies the reality of the Holocaust.
Stillwater, Brian.
Schindler's List.
And that's the name of the book, right? There's the tone. That's all we have time for in the first period. We'll be back to meet the contestants and resume play with the first of our exciting 60 seconds rounds after you watch this.
The mayor's job fair is back, and you've got to go. The time to start that career is now.
If you're 16 to 21,
grab your resume and come to the mayor's job fair.
Come out to impress. Grab your best, dress for success.
Come to the mayor's job fair.
Saturday, March 25th.
From 9 to 1 p.m.
It's in the Trade Center at the Tulsa Fairground.
that's the mayor's job fair. Call 596-7679 for more information.
Sponsored by Channel 2 News and C104.5.
Now, as is our custom, we'll meet the contestants before we resume play with the first of our 60 seconds rounds. We'll start with the team from Bishop Kelley High School, always tough in the OSU Academic Bowl. The captain is... No, let's start with John Powers, who's not the captain, but he is part of this all-senior team. He enjoys playing the piano, and he intends to attend the University of Tulsa. Next to him is, in fact, the captain, Chris Sanders. He also plans to attend the University of Tulsa. His hobbies include creative writing. Tim Edwards, who plans to go to, is it Washington University in St. Louis?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and Phil DiBiase is Georgetown bound, and he's a Boy Scout. Life Scout?
No, I'm an Eagle.
An Eagle, okay. Just too modest to put it down on your dossier here. And with their alternates, Zachary Foltz, Philip Flint, and Amanda Siskowski, with coach Jamie Clifton Howland. That's the team from Bishop Kelley High School. Their opponents from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Now let's meet Richard first. Richard Wiggs is the captain. He's a junior. And he's active in cross-country debate, member of the Latin Club, member of his church youth group, plays handbells. Next is Cole. Cole, I have nothing on the card about you, so I'm going to turn it over. Tell us about yourself, Cole. What's your last name and so forth?
Cole Shelton, and I just like to read. I'm going to go to OSU and major hopefully in engineering.
Okay, Cole Shelton. It's okay. Next is Brian Lohendorf, a junior. He is a member of the National Honor Society. He plays piano, tennis, and swimming. And finally, Mary Jo Dillingham, junior, plays softball, member of the French and German clubs, Beta Club as well, and she plays the piano. Well, their alternates include Aaron Clement, Kate Evans, Luke Bell, and Kurt Merrill. Their coach, James Ryan. That's the team from Stillwater. I'm proud to introduce the judges for the OSU Texaco Star Academic Challenge. They represent OSU's College of Education. First, the founder of the Academic Bowl himself, Dr. William Siegel, flanked by Dr. Lynn Arney, Dr. Steve Marks, and Professor Jan Marks. Their decisions are final. Now we're ready to get into our first 60 seconds round. Players, the categories are Henry Ford, Find the Hypotenuse, and Africa. Your choice. Who are we starting with? Bishop Kelley trails 40-50, so they'll be first up to bat. What do you have?
We'll take Find the Hypotenuse.
They're going for Find the Hypotenuse. Start the clock. Here we go. Find the length of the hypotenuse for each of these right triangles. Both legs equal 1.
Radical 2.
Legs are 2 and 3.
Radical 13.
Both legs equal 4.
4 radical 2.
Both legs equal 14.
14 radical 2.
Legs are 8 and 6.
10.
10.
Legs are 4 and 3.
5.
5.
Legs are 7 and 1.
5 radical 2.
Legs are 3 and 6.
3 radical 5.
Legs are 8 and 1.
Radical 65.
Right, and finally legs are 4 and 5.
Radical 41.
You have swept the category. They get the 20-point bonus, 120 points on Find the Hypotenuse. Impressive. Stillwater, maybe you'll do the same. What's your pleasure?
We'll take Africa.
Africa is the subject for Stillwater High. Start the clock. Here we go. The easternmost point in Africa is found in which troubled country?
Somalia.
The Horn of Africa consists of Somalia and the eastern part of what other nation?
Ethiopia.
Name any 2 of the 6 principal rivers of Africa.
Congo and the Nile.
Yes. Among the 7 continents, where does Africa rank in both size and population?
Second.
Name one of the island groups in the North Atlantic considered to be part of Africa.
Azores.
The modern European colonization of Africa was begun by which European nation establishing trading posts on the coast in 15th...
Portugal.
Yes. Among Europeans, what was the most popular nickname of Africa?
Pass.
What is the only modern industrial state in Africa?
Egypt.
What's the largest native group in South Africa?
Pygmies.
In the 1980s, this... Okay, and that is the end of the 60 seconds round on Africa. 50 points for Stillwater. Bishop Kelley, a possible 40 for you. Name one of the island groups in the North Atlantic considered to be part of Africa.
Canaries.
Canaries is right. Azores was a good try. The others, Cape Verde Islands and Madeira Islands. Among Europeans, what was the most popular nickname of Africa?
Dark Continent.
The Dark Continent, yes. What is the only modern industrial state in Africa?
South Africa.
You're right. And what is the largest native group in South Africa?
Zulus.
Very good. Okay, a big advantage for Bishop Kelley in our first 60 seconds round, which has come to an end. I'll tell you what the second 60-second round categories will be. They will be North Carolina, German, and chemistry. We're coming right back after these messages.
So, what is weather coverage in Oklahoma all about? It's a group of scientists called meteorologists. It's news people behind the scenes. It's photographers on the street, bringing you the information you need to know and the pictures you want to see. We call it Storm Team Coverage. So before you leave for work, before you plan that weekend trip, tune in to Channel 2 News for all the latest weather information, everything you need to know. And it's only on Channel 2 News, because we're the Weather Authority.
We are ready for our second 60 seconds round, but not before we introduce a substitute for Stillwater High. Welcome to Kurt Merrill. All right, players, you know the categories, and score now is 200 to 100 in favor of Bishop Kelley. In this case, it's Stillwater's turn to select first. What'll you have?
We'll take chemistry, please.
Chemistry is the subject. For Stillwater, start the clock. Here we go. Metalloids have some of the properties of what two classifications of elements?
Metals, non-metals.
Which term identifies solid carbon dioxide that sublimates at -78 degrees?
Dry ice.
Heat conduction is poorest in which of the three states of matter?
Gas.
What is the pH range of a basic solution?
7 to 14.
What adjective describes a gas such that 1 mole of it occupies 22.4 liters?
Ideal gas.
What is the name for the maximum temperature that water can have while in a liquid state?
Critical temperature.
In what molecular form do all common elemental gases exist? Nitrogen, hydrogen, and oxygen.
Diatomic.
Give the chemical formula for calcium fluoride.
CaFl2.
Give the chemical formula for and time runs out. They got 60 points on chemistry. That means a possible 20 for you, Bishop Kelley. What is the name for the maximum temperature that water can have while in the liquid state? That's the boiling point. And give me the chemical formula for calcium fluoride.
CaF2.
Is right. So far, Bishop Kelley is perfect on the leftovers. The rebounds, we would say. Okay, Kelley, you've got North Carolina or German.
German.
They're going for German. Start the clock. Here we go. Translate these German signs into English. Achtung.
Attention.
Attention.
Baden verboten.
Smoking forbidden.
Geschlossen.
Closed.
Ausgang.
Exit. Exit.
Exit.
Damentoilette.
Women's restroom.
Gefahr.
Entrance.
Kalt.
Cold.
Vorsicht.
Pass.
Nicht berühren.
Not open.
Rauscher verboten.
Smoking forbidden.
That's correct. So that's a fine job on German. 60 points for Bishop Kelley. Stillwater, you need these 40. Translate these German signs into English. Baden verboten.
No trespassing.
No swimming. Gefahr.
Yield.
Gefahr is danger. Vorsicht.
Hot.
No, that's caution. And nicht berühren.
No trespassing.
That is do not touch. German signs has come to an end, as has our second 60 seconds round. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter. Stay with us, won't you?
If you missed Channel 2 News in February, you missed an education. Avoiding scam artists once and for all. How to detect scams on the elderly.
I said it to myself, it would never happen to me, and then it did.
Managing your money. How to save tons of cash on your next grocery bill. Putting a little spark into your love life. How to get the romance back.
Put the kids to bed early.
Get an education. Stay tuned to 2 News for more stories that matter to you.
We're glad you stayed with us for more of OSU's Texaco Star Academic Challenge, brought to you by KJRH-TV as well. Our score is 160 for Stillwater, 280 for Bishop Kelley. Players will have a series of rapid-fire questions until we run out of time, and we'll begin with this one. Who cut away the lower parts of his distance glasses and the upper parts of his reading glasses?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin mounted the remaining pairs of half lenses together in a single frame. Right. Which Broadway musical teams is set in the village of Anatevka?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Les Miserables.
Not Les Miserables. I think that's in the village of Paris. Stillwater? Anatevka.
Stillwater, Richard.
Fiddler on the Roof.
Fiddler on the Roof is right. Give me the three-word name for this airport. Twice the size of Manhattan Island, it sits 25 miles from the downtown center of the elevated state capital it serves. The first major new facility of its kind in the United States in 20 years, its control tower is the world's largest. Its spring 1994 opening was delayed due to problems with its computerized baggage handling system. Do you know?
Bishop Kelley, John.
Denver International Airport.
Denver International Airport is right. In Oklahoma, Democrat Dave McCurdy was defeated last fall by Republican
Stillwater, Brian.
Jim Inhofe, whose ads had shown McCurdy as which character of children's literature?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio is right. Another 10 for Bishop Kelley. What would you call the total weight of all organisms in a particular...
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Biomass.
Very quick, Tim. In a particular place such as a swamp. Finished that question. In 1990, President Bush set a deadline to put a man on Mars. In which year, on July 20th, the 50th anniversary of the first moon landing, is this Mars landing slated?
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
2019.
2019 is right. Knowledge of American history and math serving Tim well that time. Which Middle Eastern country's name means land of the Aryans in Persian?
Bishop Kelley, John.
Saudi Arabia.
Not Saudi Arabia. Stillwater. Take a guess.
Stillwater, Richard.
Iran.
Iran is right. The U.S. Army characteristically calls it a combat emplacement evacuator. What is the six-letter name for this tool equipped with a broad-beaked scoop for removing snow or earth? A
Stillwater.
Shovel.
Shovel is right. Cole. All right, let's try this one from the pages of literature. The poem tells of a shipwreck off Gloucester in 1839. The next morning, a tearful fisherman sees the form of a maiden fair lashed close to a drifting mast. Named the ship in this poem by Longfellow.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Hesperus.
Hesperus, the wreck of the Hesperus. What city in the West Indies has the largest population? Somebody's going to get this
Bishop Kelley, John.
Sumatra.
Well, that's in the East Indies. Stillwater?
Stillwater, Richard.
Havana.
Havana is right. Give that man 10 points. I'm more elastic than nylon, 5 times stronger than steel, and can be found hanging in corners and eaves. What am I?
Stillwater, Richard.
Spider silk.
Spider silk is right. Which of the 3 main types of rock was named from a Latin word meaning fiery?
Stillwater, Richard.
Igneous.
Igneous, and now Stillwater's on a tear. Opponents of NAFTA charged U.S. jobs would be lost to Mexico's low-wage market. This argument had been heard in the European community in 1986, when 2 poorer nations were brought into the EC. Name these neighboring Iberian nations.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Spain and Portugal.
Whose low wages did not hurt other EC nations, in fact. Eric the Red is credited with naming Greenland. Despite its name, the world's largest...
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Vinland.
World's largest island is usually covered with ice. Why, Stillwater, did he call it Greenland?
Stillwater, Cole.
To get people to come there.
To get people to come there is right. To induce colonists to settle there. One of the early examples of false advertising, eh? Okay, objections to the federal Constitution, written by George Mason, became the basis of what document?
Stillwater, Richard.
The Bill of Rights.
Very good, Richard. Yes. Omar Khayyam wrote of having 4 things underneath the bow. Name any 2 of them.
Stillwater, Richard.
Wine and thou.
Yes, a book of verses underneath the bow. A loaf of bread, a jug of wine, and thou. So you can remember that on your next picnic with your sweetheart, Richard. This mythical king of Phrygia cut up his son Pelops and presented the flesh to the gods at a banquet to test their all-powerful knowledge. The gods detected this outrage, restored Pelops to life, and condemned his father to an eternity of suffering in the lower depths of the underworld. His name gave us a word for
Stillwater, Richard.
Tantalus?
Tantalus is right, a name for teasing or torment by presenting something desirable but continually keeping it out of reach. Excellent. The EPA recently released a report on the dangers of this toxic substance, now officially linked to cancer, and found to be the source of the health problems that led to the eventual closing of the city of Times Beach.
Stillwater, Kurt.
Asbestos?
Times Beach, Missouri. Bishop Kelley named this substance. Does anybody in the audience know? Not benzene, it's dioxin. But thanks for trying. Gettysburg was one of the longest feature films released in 1993. Its length might most appropriately be described as 12 score and 8 minutes. How many minutes is that?
Stillwater, Cole.
248.
248 minutes is right. You can see an exhibit about early transatlantic flights at what Newfoundland city's airport?
Stillwater, Cole.
St. John.
Not that one. Bishop Kelley.
Bishop Kelley, Phil.
Halifax?
No, that's Gander. The new crime bill granted funds to various U.S. cities to hire police officers. The largest grants will bolster the police forces of the largest cities in Arkansas and Nebraska.
Bishop Kelley, John.
Little Rock and Lincoln.
Name the city Stillwater.
Stillwater, Cole.
Little Rock and Omaha.
You got it for 10 points. Give me this one-syllable word and its spelling. It can mean a whip or other instrument for flogging.
Bishop Kelley, Tim.
Switch? S-W-I-T-C-H?
Any cause of serious trouble or affliction, or to punish, chastise, or afflict severely.
Stillwater, Cole.
Scold, S-C-O-L-D.
Scourge, S-C-O-U-R-G-E. There's the tone. The contest is over. We'll check the score and declare the winner in just a moment.
Channel 2 News in February was about touching stories of family coping with Alzheimer's disease, angels saving the lives of ordinary people.
I truly believe that was an angel from God.
Vital information hidden secrets credit card companies don't want you to know. How to detect ailments doctors commonly miss in women.
Specific steps to take control of your health and maybe save your life.
2 News, bringing you more stories that matter to you.
By a score of 280 to 350, our winners, Bishop Kelley High School, they earn the right to advance to the semifinal round. They'll be playing either East Central or Edmond Memorial. The contestants on our next show, we'll see you then.
Texaco star